So in today's session, what we'll do, we'll get introduced with ANSYS Maxwell software, and as part of our curriculum or as part of our academic part, we'll stick to the RMXprt tool. So in last practical, actually, we had discussed about what is the ANSYS Maxwell software, then what are the career opportunities or what are the general application of the software, then what are the applications related to the electrical engineering. And today's practical, actually, we will get introduce ourselves with the actual platform or actually software tool or software GUI. So I will just going to open the ANSYS Maxwell software. So in this case, under the ANSYS electronic desktop, uh, you need to open that software. So just I'm going to open the software. So in today's practical, we'll get introduce ourselves with the first of all RMS expert tool and what are the different activities which we can perform. So right now I have installed 2016.2, that is a pirated version on my MATLAB, my laptop. I'm going to open it. The main purpose of this practical activities or this subject is nothing but at least you should get the idea about introduction and scenario of that software. कौन कौन से activities हम कर सकते हैं and कुछ demos जो demo के through आपको उस software का application समझ के लेना है. So we'll not go in, although we are saying that design of electrical machine using the RMXprt tool, but we'll not go in deep related to the design activities or understanding the each term of the input. But the main purpose is while giving the by giving the certain input, which output you can will get, that you should get the idea. That information you should have. तो अगर सपोज कोई मैं स्पेशल पर्पज मशीन लेता हूँ, ये हो सकता है कि आपको उसमें से उस पैरामीटर का मीनिंग पता नहीं कि जैसे मैंने अगर बोला कि स्टैक लेंथ, तो मीनिंग पता नहीं, बट वो इनपुट्स लगते और वहां पे इनपुट देके हमें ये आउटपुट मिलता है, इतना भी अगर आपको पता चलता है देन ऑल्सो इट इज वेल एंड गुड. सो दैट जब आप मशीन 1, मशीन 2, मशीन 3 जब सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ोगे एंड फाइनल ईयर में जब आपको मेजर प्रोजेक्ट सिलेक्ट करना है, एट दैट टाइम आपने थेरोटिकल डिजाइन कैलकुलेशंस मीनिंग ऑफ ईच टर्म वो तो पढ़ा रहेगा, लेकिन इस सॉफ्टवेयर का यूज करके यू कैन डिजाइन द मशीन फॉर डिफरेंट एप्लीकेशंस. तो यहाँ पे अगर मैं ANSYS इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डेस्कटॉप ओपन करता हूँ, तो यू कैन गो थ्रू द डिफरेंट ऑप्शंस. जैसे यहाँ पे प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर है, तो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर में अलग अलग आपको ऑप्शंस दिखाई देंगे कि यहाँ पे देखो प्रोजेक्ट नंबर रहता है, जो भी the project which you are going to select, you can give the name accordingly. Suppose you select the project for the BLDC motor, so you can give the name accordingly as per your convenience. Then simpler circuit, it is actually related to the supply part of the circuit. जैसे कि हमें पता है कि कोई भी अगर इलेक्ट्रिकल मशीन रन होती है और with actually it is called as a dry system. So dry system is consist of one electrical motor जो actually run होके shaft के through load bear करेगी, and second one the supply which is given to that motor. But you might be observed that the supply is not directly given to the motor, it is given through the controller of that motor. Suppose you are going to use the motor for particular application, जैसे अगर suppose हम electric vehicle का applications लेते, so what we do, we provide the supply will be available from the battery, then from the battery to the converter, then converter to the controller circuit, and then converter and controller, that supply will be given to the motor, and motor performance we can control with the help of that controller circuit. So dry circuit is having different component, but in this case related to the RMXprt tool will stick to the design of motor. But how will observe the performance if we do not provide the supply to the controller or control circuit or converter circuit? So that controller or converter design is actually done in the simpler part. So when we see the actual demo, at that time we will get the idea. But in today's session, just we are going to introduce ourselves with this GUI. देन यहाँ पे एनालिटिक्स है, जो एनालिसिस के आपको रिजल्ट्स मिल जाएंगे। देन ऑप्टोमेट्रिक्स, रिजल्ट जो है वो आपको इमेज के फॉर्म में या पीडीएफ के फॉर्म में ये रिजल्ट्स आप आउटपुट एज अ आउटपुट ले सकते हो। देन यहाँ पे फाइल्स में अलग ऑप्शन है, जैसे आप कोई फाइल न्यू फाइल जनरेट करके आप वहाँ पे डिजाइन कर सकते हो। अदरवाइज यू कैन ओपन एनी प्रोजेक्ट, you can open the examples which are given in the this software. So if you study at least the examples which are available in the software, then also it is sufficient as as same 3 students. Then you can close your project here, then save as, page setup, page archive, then restore archive, then print, preview, print, import, export. Such type of the options are available under the files, so you are aware about this type of the options. Then edit, if you want to rename your project or if you want to find the elements, so accordingly you can do under this. Then view, right now see I have selected the status bar and project manager only. If I select the suppose message manager, so if you do the simulation, corresponding messages will be displayed here. But right now I have selected the only sufficient part which are for our application, status bar and project manager. So this left hand vertical portion, this portion is nothing but project manager. Then status bar, message manager, properties, progress, that means how much simulation is completed. If you do the complete work and you are going to do the simulation, and that is 30% simulation completed, 40% simulation completed, that progress will be shown at the bottom side. Then ACT extension, component libraries, layers, then नेट्स कंपोनेंट्स, अगर आपको व्यू जो है वो जूम इन जूम आउट करना है, देन फिट टू ड्राइंग करना है, रीड्रॉ करना है, तो such type of the options are available under the view option. Then project, as the name suggests, project option, that means it is related to the current project. So in this case, if you do the design, as we have already discussed, simpler is nothing but the part related to the supply part and controlling circuit, so that you can make the design in the simpler, and then that in simpler design you can insert here or you can import here. Then insert documentation file, analyze all, that means all the design, total design will be analyzed. Then submit the job, project variables, say data sets क्या है, event callback, those are the options under the project. Then draw, suppose you are going to work in the project simpler circuit, and if you want to make your own design for the controller part or converter part, so you can draw the corresponding diagrams. So such options are available. Then in case of the schematics, so page border and title work, then new page, grid setup, auto name, wires, edit symbols, such type of the options. Then export file, these are available under the schematic. And जो simpler circuit हमने बोला था कि जिसपे हम motor के related controller part, converter part, that will design. So under the simpler circuit there are different options like sub circuit. So some sub circuit में देखो कि Maxwell component है, simulating component, that means it is related to the MATLAB software. So another beauty of the beauty of this software is that suppose you make the model in the ANSYS Maxwell software and you want to run that model in the MATLAB software, then you can import this Maxwell design directly into the simpler circuit. Now there might be the question in your mind, why there is a need to import this model once we make the design here, then why there is a need to import this model in the MATLAB? So as we know that in case of the RMXprt design, this design is related to the machine part or related to the supply part only. But suppose I design the one motor for the electric vehicle application, but that electric vehicle entire model could not be completed in the ANSYS Maxwell software. For that purpose, what we'll do, we'll design the machine, we'll observe the performance, and that model can be imported. And actual model of the electric vehicle will make in the MATLAB software. And at a block of motor, will import the model which we have designed in the ANSYS Maxwell software. So this is the simpler circuit part. Then you can select as the characterized devices like semiconductor, power module, solution setup. So in the last session also we had discussed there are different type of the solutions. So you can select the whether the AC transient, DC transient solution setup is required. And then edit setup, output dialog, browser, then analyze, then results you can see here. So in result, this is the important point. That's why I'm discussing in detail. In case of the results, there are create standard reports like rectangular plot, data table, digital plot, 3D rectangular plot. So such type of the Nyquist plot, body plot, polar plot. So such options are available. Then create report from the file. So you can give the input in terms of the files. Then a report template, create user defined solution, output variables, update all reports, then open all reports, such type of the, then create the document, whether you want to make the design summary or a DDR. So accordingly you can do. Then import HDB file, import data file. Here just understand that we can import or export the data. So don't get confused. Right now just I am giving the introduction. Then there are different settings related to the design, properties, edit notes, then check design size, toolkit, launch the experts, then more actions may save configuration, load configuration, reset simple animation. Such type of the options are available under the simpler circuit. Then under the tools, of course, there whenever you are going to make the simpler circuit, at that time there is need of different components or equipments. And suppose you are going to do the machine design, in that another beauty of this software actually we'll discuss in detail later, but right now just keep in mind that as we had discussed in the last session also, that is in this design by using the RMXprt tool, suppose you can change the material also. For example, in one case you have used the steel 100. In second case, you can change the material with the copper, and you can observe the performance of the machine. So that material or that part is also available here in libraries. If you want to edit the material, for example, anyone work on the developing the particular special material to enhance the performance of machine, then you can add such type of the material with its properties, because there is standard format in which you need to give the detail of that material like name, then its pH curve, then there are different parameters for which from which you can make the table and you can add that material among the material list. And by selecting the material, you can check the performance of the machine. Then scripts, components, symbol, model, packages, footprint, page stack, such type of the options are available. Then regarding the window, here you can select the new window or cascade tile horizontally. That is, options related to the windows are available. And this one main important point, because what happened right now, you are going to introduce yourself with the new software. So always there is one trick. Whenever you are going to study in about the any new software, make sure that you need to go through the help manual. In case of the help manual, they have given the step-by-step procedure about information about the software. Like suppose I have given the experiment number one, you can try from your side. Actually, I have not checked, but you can try from your side under the help manual whether they had given the information about the software. You can collect that information also. But the main purpose is nothing but you have to introduce yourself with this new software. Then simpler content, simpler search, the help related to these points like simpler on the context, simpler PDF, then simpler components, simpler scripting content. So such type of the options are available here. So this is the part related to the simpler circuit. So but actually as we have discussed, that is we need to work on the RMXprt design, because what is the main purpose of the RMXprt tool is nothing but to make the machine design. So for that purpose, what I will do right now, I will just give the idea about this option. Suppose I want to open the project, so I will just go to the open and I will select any one project from my side. For example, I have selected the current project on which I am working. So suppose I will take the example of the okay, 550 watt SRM is nothing but switch reluctance motor. So I will just open this tool. Now you will be in RMXprt tool. So it will take some time, just bear with. So in today's session, don't get confused, just we are going to understand what is the GUI of this software, what type of the options are available, and what type of the activities we can do. So suppose you do any project, such type of the diagram is also visible. You know that whenever we are going to do design the machine, then there are different parts of the machine, like stator part. Here actually the geometry of that machine is given. So stator part, rotor part, then shaft. So that stator geometry you need to decide whenever you are going to make the design. Then rotor geometry, so you can select accordingly. तो यहाँ पे actually project के content हम देखेंगे, उसके पहले just will go through the different options in case of the RMXprt. See here in case of the file edit view project, that point we have already discussed. Then regarding the machine, you can select the winding layout, or then wires regarding the different parameter. What is the unit that you can select here? But in case of the RMXprt, I think that winding option gets selected. That's why it's running. Actually, the one problem related to this software, suppose you go through the old version, then in detail analysis, like 2D analysis or 3D analysis, it will take little bit more time. But that drawback is also overcome with the new advanced version, in which now the simulation is will be completed quickly. So yeah, in case of the RMXprt, see, you can select the machine type. So here you will get the idea. The point which I have given in the experiment number 1, introduction to the RMXpert tool. So in that you can add the theory, like RMXpert tool is the used to make the electrical machine design, and which type of the machine design we can do, that is given here. So this is the list of the machine design which is possible with this RMXpert tool, like adjust speed synchronous machine, brushless permanent magnet DC motor, then claw pole alternator DC machine, generic rotating machine, then line start permanent magnet synchronous motor, permanent magnet DC motor, single phase induction motor, then switch reluctance motor, that is nothing but SRM, for which I will discuss the model here. Then three phase induction motor, three phase non silent synchronous machine, three phase synchronous machine, universal motor, etc. So such type of the machine you can design with the help of the RMXpert tool. Okay, then list validation check is means once you do the design, then that design will be validated from the software. So what we do, we make the design as per our requirement or as per our understanding, and whether that design is validated, and design is validated by the software. Why? Because suppose uh, for particular machine there is condition that this particular variable should be within this permissible limit only, like pole imbalance. Suppose pole imbalance should be between 0 to 0.9 or 0.5 to 0.9. But if you have given the value greater than 1, which is not within the acceptable limit, at that time, if you do the validation check, then it will show the corresponding error also. So you can work on that error and you can modify your design before the simulation. But if the validation is correct, that means your design is correct and you can do the further analysis. Okay, then edit notes, then in case of the toolkit, design settings, analyze setup, so add solution setup. So last time we हमने discuss किया था कि solution setup कौन से, so we'll discuss that part when actually we'll make the model. But here you can select the solution setup, then automatic analysis, what is your requirement, accordingly you can select. Then results, so in case of the result, create report from the file. So here actually as per your design, the and output results, that design sheet will be generated. Then if you want to delete the report, if you want to make the template, then data set solutions, update all the reports, open all reports, create a document by that report, then solution data, browse solutions, etc. These options are available here. Results, then design properties, design data sets, so those options come under the RMXpert. uh, then regarding the tool, we have already discussed, like edit libraries, library tools. So this part we have discussed, Windows we have discussed, but the use of help we have already discussed. But in case of the right now, you are having the idea about the option, but there are short forms also. So whenever actually you will work for longer time, then you will get introduced with the different options or different shortcuts through which you can do your required activity. Like for the file here, this is the new, for the new file, directly you can click here. Then to open the file, you can directly click here. This is the option for a save a project. Actually these parameters will, right now these options are disabled, because whenever we will actually open the file, or you are going to work on the a new project, at that time those options will get enabled. Then here uh, local, okay, this is actually related to the license copy. Then here are different options like edit the active analysis configuration, HPC and analysis option, then show the simulation that have been started by user and waiting to the queue. Then this is related to the validation. Then add a solution setup, analyze all, edit nodes, solution data. That means those options which are available as a sub point under these main options, those are available in terms of the symbolical form also. Zoom in, zoom out, then fit to all, etc. Then apart from that, there is different options like here, insert filter design item, then launch EMIT, then launch 7th, then insert simpler design. इस simpler पे हमें controller और converter पे काम करना है, तो insert simpler design, then insert Maxwell circuit design and insert RMXprt design. So actually our session will be based on this. We need to insert the RMXprt design, we need to select the machine, and then we need to give the input related to the different design parameter, then obtain the performance of that machine. Then insert Maxwell 2D design. So as we had discussed that machine model, if you go through the syllabus point also, if it is given that Maxwell design or RMXpert design can be converted into the Maxwell 2D form or Maxwell 3D form. So once you complete the design, you can insert the Maxwell 2D design by this option. Then you can insert the Maxwell 3D design with this option. Then insert circuit netlist design, then insert circuit design, insert 2D extracted design, then insert Q3D extracted design, insert HFSS design, then insert HFSS 3D layout design. So such type of the options are available here. So these are the shortcuts through which you can complete your activity. So this is the GUI of the RMXpert tool. But what is expected as part of your activity? You should have the idea at least about this RMXpert tool. Okay, so in case of the RMXpert tool, actually what is the general procedure? So if you go through, if you want to make the design of machine by using RMXpert tool, the first step is you need to insert RMXpert design. Okay, so like here we have discussed the insert RMXpert design. Then you need to select the type of machine, on which machine you want to work, like synchronous machine or what we can say switch reluctance motor or induction motor or BLDC motor. You need to select the type of the machine, and once you select the machine, then directly there will be such type of the options are available. Like suppose I press the insert RMXpert design, and if I select the uh, SRM switch reluctance motor, then such options are available. Such options are available. That means the geometry will be for that motor or the design of that motor will be done stepwise. तो यहाँ पे अगर हम machine जो part है, first of all we need to make the layout of the machine. If we want to make the layout of the machine, then what are the main components of the machine? If we consider the motor part, then stator, rotor, isn't it, and shaft. So while making the geometry, suppose first of all, in case of the machine, if I double click on the machine, then it will ask for this information. That is, what is the machine type? Suppose adjust speed synchronous machine. What are the number of poles of that machine? 2 number of poles. What is the rotor position? Inner rotor. What is the frictional loss? 0 watt. So what are those parameters available here? Whose description is also given here, like number of poles. So here written, what is the meaning of that? So number of pole of the machine. Rotor position, what is the meaning of that? So suppose inner rotor or outer rotor. So you need to select accordingly. Then frictional loss. So what is the meaning of it? The frictional loss measured at the reference speed. So that loss you need to give the input. Windage loss. So we know that in case of the electrical machine, of course, there are different losses, and accordingly we decide the efficiency of that machine. So what is the windage loss? So that options information is given here. I know that you might be face the problem related to the different technical term. That is, what is the meaning of this? But here actually you need to understand or you need to introduce yourself with the software only. Regarding the technical term, you will study in detail under the electrical machine subject or in the higher classes. But right now, just keep in mind that what type of the options we need to provide as an input to the make the machine design complete. So reference speed. So here, what is the meaning of reference speed? The reference speed at which the friction and windage losses are measured. So that speed you need to give in RPM. Then control type. So if you type on the control type, there are different options like whether you DC, whether it is DC control or pulse width modulation (PWM) control or AC control. That control type you can select. Like for the SRM motor, we'll select the DC type of control. Then circuit type. So in case of the circuit type, there are different type of the connections. So here you can select the required connection as per point of view. So it is not expected at this stage that you should have the idea about the connection details or which type should be selected for the particular application. But as an usage of software, you should have the idea. We can select the circuit type from the among the available list. Okay, then drive circuit type, if you want to check, you can check, otherwise you can uncheck here. Then once you give all the inputs, then you can press the apply, so that all the inputs which you have given will be applied for the your design. So first of all, what we had done, we have selected the machine type, then we double click on the machine. Then under the machine, but we know that the machine is consist of circuits, that is supply circuit, then stator, rotor, shaft. So related to that part, if we click on this plus button, there are different options are available. Like if I press on the circuit button, then it will ask for what is in case of the circuit, that supply circuit or controller circuit, what is the trigger pulse. Now it is not expected that what is the meaning of trigger pulse, that idea you should have. That is, trigger pulse means that supply is given and at how much angle or at which position the triggering should be given. So that is 120 degree. Then we use the transistors for the converter and controller design. So what is the transistor drop you are going to assume in your design? What is the diode drop you are going to use in your design? Because transistors, diodes, then MOSFETs, those can be used for the converter circuit part or as a part of controller. So you need to select those values. Okay, once you complete, once you given the input of machines, once you given the input of circuit, then it will ask for the stator. So if we double click on the stator, what information is needed? That is, what is the outer diameter of the stator? What is the inner diameter of the stator? And here units are also given. See, as per your design value, you can select the design. Like right now, here I have selected mm. That means if I put the value 150, that means outer diameter of the machine, outer diameter of the stator, because we are giving the input for stator. Outer diameter of the stator is 150 mm. Suppose I have selected the inner diameter is 80. That means inner diameter of the stator is 80 mm. Then length, stacking factor, then steel type. So as we have already discussed, we can select the material type in case of the this software. So if we double click here, then the library for the different materials is available. So this is also one beauty of this software. That is, we can select the different material, and within few seconds or within few minutes, you can obtain the performance with the help of the new material for your design. So यहाँ पे अगर आपको खुद के कुछ डिजाइन से मटेरियल इन्वेंट किए and you want to use it for to check the performance of the machine. So but at that time, according to this table, you need to provide the information of that material. What is the name, relative permeability, bulk conductivity of that material, what is the magnetic coercivity, core loss kitna hai, thermal conductivity, what is the mass density, what is the specific heat. So according in this tabular form, you need to keep the information ready, and you can add that material in the list. So for that purpose, view or edit material or add material options are available. In case of the clone material, you can make the clone of the available material. Then among the list, you can remove the material, and this export to the library. So that option is also available here. So here you can select the material filter also. कि आपको कंडक्टर चाहिए, हिस्टेरेसिस, मैग्नेटिक, स्टील, कौन से टाइप का मटेरियल चाहिए, that you can select here. Okay, then once you select the stator, then you can apply here. Okay, so that input will be given. Then you can select about the slot. So in case of the slot, there are different parameters. So what is the meaning of this? If you want to do the auto design, you can just check it. Otherwise, if you want to make the design from your own, then you can give the values here. Like HS0 means slot dimension HS0 and slot dimension BH0. So you need to give the input these values. Then winding. So in case of the winding, whether what are the winding layers? For example, two. What type of the winding you needed? Like whole coiled or half coiled, or if you want to edit the winding type from your side, then you can select accordingly. Okay, then parallel branches, how much parallel branches are in available winding, conductor per slot, then coil pitch kitna hai, then number of strands kitne, wire wrap kitna hai, wire size kitna hai, that options you can select among the wiring. So don't get confused right now. Just keep in mind that whenever you are going to design the select machine, then first of all open that machine, select that machine, then go through the different options which are available related to the design of that machine. And then once you take the knowledge of electrical machine in detail, then while making the design, of course you go through the theoretical formulas, and accordingly you are having the calculation. So that calculations you can give as an input here, and accordingly you will get the result. So first of all, what we have done, we have selected the machine, then we have given the input for the circuit. Then regarding the stator design, we have given the stator and winding design, slot design, we have given the input here. The next part is rotor. So in case of the rotor, what is the outer diameter of the rotor? Again, here you can select the unit as per your convenient value, and the meaning of each term is given here. Like outer diameter, that means outer diameter of the rotor. Then inner diameter means inner diameter of the rotor. What is the meaning of length? So length of the rotor core. So then steel type. So here again you can select the material which you are going to use for the rotor design in your designs. So that also you can select here. Then stacking factor. What is the pole type? So that you can select here the rotor. Once rotor is done, then regarding the shaft, if you want the separate shaft, then you can check here. Otherwise, if you want to take the auto design, you can uncheck here. So the shaft is made up of the magnetic material that is given here. So you can select the or unselect the shaft. And once you given the input here, the your technical part is over. That is regarding the input for design. And once you give the all these parameters input, then you need to analyze. You need to do the analysis of your design. So in case of the analysis, if you right click there, it will ask for the solution setup. So here you can select the solution setup. But until now, if you see, what do you know about the general machine parameters? So if you want to purchase the machine, or if you want to use the particular machine for any application, mostly what we do, we should have the idea about basic parameters. Like what is the rating of that machine, power rating. For example, 1 HP. So 1 HP means how much watt? 1 HP is equal to 1 HP, that is 746 watt. Then you can select the that rating in HP, or that you can select the rating in power also, like 0.5 kilowatt, then 2 kilowatt, or in if it is small power rating machine, suppose you can select the 500 watt motor. Then rated voltage, what is that rated voltage? Suppose you want to design the motor for electric rickshaw application, then that available battery voltage is 48 volt. Suppose it is 48 volt, then 2 2000 watt, or you can select the kilowatt etc option. For example, 48 volt 2000 2 kilowatt motor. What is the rated speed? For example, 3500 rpm. On which temperature you want to check the performance? So suppose it is 75 degrees Celsius. So that input you need to give. Okay, that means first of all we given the details regarding the geometry, then we have given the details regarding the analysis part, then regarding the optometrics. So once you do the analysis here, different options are available for the you can do the analysis here, like analyze all, and then that analysis option will be output will be here. Like suppose for the current setting, the design setting and optometric settings are correct, that means these are validated. This green Caret symbol indicate that the design is validated, whereas this symbol indicate that design is not validated. So accordingly you can do the design. So once you given the input, then you need to, before going to do the simulation, you need to validate the design from your side. If it is not validated, then you need to work on the corresponding error. Like suppose here the error is related to the machine input, then analysis setup. So here machine input, since we have actually right now we had not given any values, we have kept the stator outer diameter 0, inner diameter 0, which are the wrong selections or wrong values. That's why it is showing that the corresponding design is not validated. And once you do the analysis, then you will get the results. You will get all the results. So till now we had discussed how the RMXpert design inputs are given, but to get the clear idea, just I will show the example of any one machine whose design is already made. Just I will confirm. Okay, yes. See, in case of the machine design, what we do, suppose right now, what we'll do, first of all, we'll insert RMXpert design, we'll select the machine type. Suppose I have selected the switch related motor. In case of the machine, I will double click, I will give the input related to the machine, like what are the losses, the type of the machine is switch related motor, frictional loss, windage loss, reference speed, control type, then circuit type. So that input I have given. Then I have given the input related to the circuit part. Okay, as we have already discussed. Then I have given the input of stator, what is the outer diameter, inner diameter, material I have selected steel 100 accordingly. Then I have given the input of winding. Okay, then I will give the input related to the rotor, that is what is the outer diameter, inner diameter. See, whenever I click on the machine, it will show the geometry for stator as well as rotor. Like this is 8x6 machine, that means total 8 number of poles on the stator, and 6 means total 6 number of poles on the rotor. So this is 8x6 machine. Then if I double click on the stator, as per this input, this is the geometry of the stator. If I do the any changes here, the corresponding changes will be reflected on the this machine design. Okay, then rotor, if I double click on the rotor, these are the inputs given from my side. So how many number of poles I have selected? 6, and that's why this is the 6 pole geometry is available. So accordingly you can change the number of poles also. Then accordingly you can modify your design and you can observe the performance. But in case of the analysis, now it is needed that you need to add the solution setup. So here you need to give the details of rating of that machine. Just a minute. So here what are the ratings of this machine? Actually 550 watt, 48 volt, 3500 rpm and 75 degrees Celsius. So here in case of the analysis also you can give the corresponding, you can select the analysis. Just a minute. In case of the add solution setup, you can give the corresponding input, and those inputs will be reflected here in setup. So while through the analysis option, I have given these inputs: 48 volt, 550 watt, 3500 rpm, 75 degrees Celsius machine. So now after that, what I will do, I will, if I want, then I will analyze my design. So once you do the analysis, see, it shows that the analysis is going on. This rotating circle shows that analysis is in work, and this show progress symbol shows the corresponding progress of the analysis. And once it get completely analyzed, then it will be green here. And after that, if you go through the going through the validate design option, then see all the right clicks are available. That means which are the design input I am given, those are within the acceptable limit, and this design is validated. Okay, so make sure that whenever you are going to use your design, then do validate, and once it is validated, then only check your results. So once the analysis get completed, then how the results will be shown. So if I want the results, then I will go through the design sheet. So if I will press the design sheet option, see the total design parameters are available, which are very helpful data. If the software is not available, then what we'll do, we'll calculate all the parameters by using the different mathematical calculation. But here that time will be saved, and your all the parameters like general data, stator core data, then what are the rotor core data, material consumption कितना होगा, आपने जो material यूज किया इस size के लिए, इस performance के लिए material consumption कितना यूज होगा, like stator copper density कितनी, copper total कितना लगेगा 1.0 page 4 kg, stator core steel weight कितना लगेगा 2.97 kg, then rotor core steel 1.27 kg. That material consumption data you will get. Then regarding the operation data, full load operation data, what is the output power, efficiency कितनी आ जाएगी 84.22%, then torque कितना है 1.31 Newton meter. So such total performance of the machine you will get, and if this performance is as per your requirement, then you can accept that design. Otherwise you can make the changes in your design and you can check the performance. But the main use of this software is that before making the hardware model, you can check the performance of that motor. Now regarding the performance characteristic, mostly what we do in case of the machine laboratory, we do the certain experiment, we note down the readings and we try to plot the graph. But here in this case, you will get the different graphs also here, like flux linkage versus current characteristic you want to study. So those that option, if you can select, you will directly get the characteristic for your selected design. So there are different like input characteristic like input DC current versus speed, efficiency versus speed, output power versus speed, output torque versus speed. Like different characteristics are available. Suppose I will select the efficiency versus speed. So that curve will be easily available. Okay. Then regarding the performance, so FPA input data, then full load operation का performance क्या रहेगा? Corresponding parameters you will get here. What is the no load operation? What is the material consumption? What is the stator winding data? So that total information you will get here in the results. Okay. So through these results, you will get the total RMXprt design. You will get the idea about the machine performance. That means before designing the hardware model, you will get the clear idea what will be the performance, what are the different characteristics of the motor, and if it is not within the acceptable limit, then you can change your design. So this software is very helpful in electrical engineering related to the research point of view. So you can make, now it is up to you for which application you want to design the motor. You want to design the motor for EV application, you want to design the motor for pumping application, or you want to design the motor for any other type of the application. So first of all, you need to select the application, what is the characteristic requirement, what is the torque requirement, what is the speed you want, and accordingly by using the different formulae, you can make your theoretical design, and that design can be validated before making the hardware model with the help of this software. But it is up to you which type of the machine you want to design, because those options which we have discussed here as an input for switch related motor design, it may be different in the induction motor design, it may be different in the DC motor design. So whenever you have selected the particular machine, you need to go through those options. You need to list out all the parameters which we need to give as an input to this software, and you need to do the detailed study, or you need to work on the values by the mathematical calculation, which value you want to give as an input to the machine. And once you make your design, validate your design. Suppose if there is any error, that if then that result will not be validated, that design will not be validated, you will get the error among the messages. Like here the different options are available, so you can select, go through the error, you can rectify your error, and once it get validated, then you will easily check the performance of that machine. So this is the use of RMXprt tool in ANSYS Maxwell software for electrical machine design. Okay.